Frisco, Texas, Dallas Cowboys held their first day of mandatory minicamp under new head coach Brian Schottenheimer, and all eyes were on number 11, Micah Parsons. He was on the field, did not take part in any drills as we anticipated, said he had a lower back strain he's dealing with. He just didn't want to participate. He was seen, though, sharing a prolonged conversation with Jerry Jones. On hand, on the field, face-to-face, off to the side. According to witnesses and those there, went on about 25, 30 minutes. Maybe Micah Parsons was introducing his agent, David Mulligetta. Remember earlier this offseason when Jerry Jones said flippantly that he didn't know who his agent was, which, of course, he does know who David Mulligetta is. He's based right here in Austin. He's one of the most powerful agents in all of pro football. And then right after the on-field meeting, or soon after, Cowboys insider Clarence Hill tweeted the following from his X account. Micah Parsons confirmed to us that he and Jerry Jones had a meeting of the minds on his contract numbers and that both were comfortable with. He told Jones that he wanted what he wanted, and Jones was amenable to it. He also told Jones to call his agent, David Mulligetta, to finalize terms and the language. The owner is yet to make that call. So obviously that tweet and that information came straight from Micah Parsons because a lot of first person there. We don't have a comment from Jerry Jones, but we'll see. According to Micah Parsons, the meeting of the minds, they're amenable. He's going to be the highest paid defensive player in football history. When do they get it done? Your guess is good as mine. What's your bingo card say for you, Jack? When's Micah going to get that deal done? I have no idea.
What is it? Sunday, September 6th, around 10:55 a.m.
Amen, brother. Brian Schottenheimer said he was happy both Parsons and Trayvon Diggs were there and in attendance. We'll hear from Brian Schottenheimer coming up later, talking about culture building. He wants, I know that's a buzz term and a buzz word, but he feels like the Cowboys under Mike McCarthy maybe weren't as together as they needed to be. He's rearranged some lockers. He's trying to, kind of like Steve Sarkisian did here at Texas, real intentionally going about building the culture in that locker room. Down in Houston, there was really good news early for the Texans and Texans fans. Video surfaced quickly yesterday morning of C.J. Stroud throwing the ball, running the offense and throwing the ball. Of course, he was shut down from throwing at OTAs last week because of what DeMeco Ryans called general soreness in his right throwing shoulder. He said at the time Ryans did that he's not concerned. And yesterday after practice, C.J. Stroud had some laughs about all the hype that it generated that he didn't throw at an OTA.
Yeah, I mean, I was already throwing, before you guys see me out there pretty normally. I think y'all don't have much to talk about, so y'all just – everything is blown up in all season, so I'm fine, man. I'm really okay.
I'm really okay. So, yeah, he went through the whole practice, which is great. So there he was. And with the shoulder issues put to rest, they're going to take it easy. I think he overdid it with the new offensive coordinator, Nick Caley. But Stroud did go into depth for the first time about the new OC, Nick Caley. Stroud was effusive in his praise of the former Patriots and Rams assistant. Said he has more juice than anybody he's ever been around. And he's also brought knowledge to the building. Remember, Caley has worked closely with Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford in his previous stops. He was part of Super Bowl championships at both places. I might add that Stroud says he's been working with Caley and studying Tom Brady. Listen to this, Jack, you're a Texans fan. So studying Tom Brady as it comes to taking control of the offense. Nick Caley really wants him. Bobby Slowick, because he was a rookie and I guess into his second year, didn't trust C.J. Stroud to run the offense and change plays and really take control on the field. Here's C.J. Stroud very intentionally going about becoming that player into his third year under a new OC.
That'll be between me and Kels, and that was something that I did want, and I'm gotten that now. So, but that takes ownership. We've been able to watch a lot of Brady, and there was clips back in like 2003 or 4 when him and Josh McDaniels, first started, and so like it took him time to master it. So it'll take time for me to master it fully, but I am buying into it and trying my best to be as great as I can at it. So, it's something that I wanted and I'm getting.
All right, some control. And if you saw it last year, the offense needed somebody to take control of it because it was brutal, especially on the offensive line and the missing blocks and missing assignments and getting C.J. Stroud ear-holed over and over again. Really no chance, and that needs to improve. But it sounds like Nick Caley and C.J. Stroud are off to a really good start as offensive coordinator quarterback because that's an important relationship. DeMeco Ryans is the head coach and runs the defense. Speaking of DeMeco, into year 3 as well. And, of course, he likes his core of talent. C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Joe Mixon on the offense. On top of a rebuilt, hopefully improved offensive line. Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, and Derek Stingley on defense. But he's also really excited about some of his young players that are developing, including, Jack, the top draft pick, Jaden Higgins. Remember, the Texans had the 25th pick in April. They traded back with the Giants, so the Giants could come up and take Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. Houston slid back to 34, where they happily took Jaden Higgins, the 6'4", 215-pound wide receiver out of Iowa State, who a lot of people look at him, he's wearing number 81 at minicamp yesterday. Looks a lot like Nico Collins, 6'4", 215, silky smooth, and had an impact. Here's DeMeco Ryans, very impressed with the top overall draft pick.
Really exciting to see just Jaden's growth process in the short amount of time that he's been here. I've seen a guy who's steadily got better every single week. You've seen him make even more plays, and seeing him today, I mean, this is the most plays that he's made, and in our last week of camp, to see a rookie who's come in and showing right now that he could be an impact player for us, I think it means a lot, and we saw it as coaches watching this film from the college game, but I think it just means a lot to the entire team, the players, defensive players, other offensive players, actually seeing him thrive in practice, because I truly believe if you take practice the right way, deliberately, and you work at it, it'll show up in the games. And so it's really awesome to see the work that he's doing and the plays that he's making.
All right, Jaden Higgins. They also took his teammate Jalen Knoll in the third round. Those two, along with Christian Kirk and Nico Collins, should provide plenty of weaponry. There's another player on the offense that is emerging, because one of the things DeMeco Ryans talked about yesterday, yes, he loves that core talent, but a couple of second-year players, Cade Stover, Jack, the tight end who they took out of Ohio State in the fourth round last year, raw player, but love his athleticism and toughness. They kind of compared him coming out of Ohio State as kind of a, who's the tight end in San Francisco?
Kittle.
The George Kittle starter kit, just tough as hell. Grew up on a farm in Ohio, but he started as a defensive player, and they're working his way into tight end. The other player they really like going into year two is Kalen Bullock, the rookie out of USC last year, who had 5 interceptions and a fumble recovery, showed his ball hawk ability, which is what they drafted him for. But DeMeco Ryans, this is what I love about DeMeco. As a former player, he's seeing the little things that are going to take these guys to the next level into year two. Cade Stover at tight end and Kalen Bullock at safety.
Cade Stover, he's a guy who I think has grown to time, and just on one small detail for him is just, his separation at the top of the routes. So seeing Cade, a second-year player, take the steps to get better at the one thing, just his route definition at the top of his route, and seeing him make play after play like that. That's what excites me about the offseason. That's why I think it's really important these 8-9 weeks that we have with the players. If you attack it with the right mindset, you can actually get better, enhance your game, and you don't see as big of a jump in a lot of guys. It really is that first and second year. That's where you see a jump, and that's where I think Cade Stover is taking a jump, and also Kalen Bullock. Kalen has done an outstanding job, this offseason of, we know Kalen for tracking the football, making interceptions, but the thing that I'm very pleased with the way Coach Adegoke has worked with him just on his tracking, putting himself in really good body position.
All right, so second-year players, Houston trying to take a next step, new offensive coordinator, new offense. Before we get to the break, I wanted to play this Brian Schottenheimer, because listen to Brian Schottenheimer, Jack, talking about the culture he wants to build. This is his intention with the Dallas Cowboys. Feels like they've got talent. They've got to come together as a team, and they can be better than what we saw last year, where it was kind of a mess with the lame duck coach and Mike McCarthy and all kinds of contract issues, and then Dak Prescott got hurt. Listen to Brian Schottenheimer. This is his intention for the Cowboys locker room.
Very easy. I want to be the greatest culture in professional sports, and that's saying a lot. I get that, but it's no different than sitting up here and talking about winning Super Bowls. There's a standard. The standard is we want to be the best, and will we be the best culture? I don't know. We're gonna try. And will we make mistakes along the way? Absolutely, we'll make mistakes, and then we'll fix things. And you guys asked me a couple weeks ago about GP coming in here. How does he fit the culture? Well, the culture's more than just one person, And so the big thing that goes into culture, too, I think, is being authentic. I will always be authentic. I'm never going to stand up here and pretend to be something I'm not. I think that's a recipe for disaster in this business. I've seen it. I've seen it fail. I think I shared with you, my dad said, hey, if you ever get a shot to be a head coach, one thing you should never do is change. Be yourself. And So the culture that we're building here is something that I truly believe in, and that most of these players that we have, they believe in it, or if they don't believe in it yet, hopefully them seeing my conviction makes them buy in.
All right, Brian Schottenheimer. Not a lot of excitement when he was hired, but he typically wins the press conference. We'll see if we can win football games, becomes the question for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, so there's a little mini camp. We got 2 more days of that. Most teams will cancel their third day. They get their work done and say, all right, good guys, let's go bowling or have yours. Because, again, the NFL shuts down for a month after Thursday. As you heard DeMeco Ryans say, they've been there, the OTAs, rookie mini camps, now the mandatory mini camps. The players have been around for the last 6-8 weeks coming out of the draft, and then it's over. Everybody leaves for a month, and it shuts down until training camp. Houston will hold theirs down in Houston. Cowboys will head out to Oxnard, California. The Steelers will head over to Latrobe, Pennsylvania with Aaron Rodgers.